This is Larry Henares making your day with part 29 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Chapter From Runnymede to Gettysburg to the Philippines. And we quote, U.S. Secretary of War Elihu Root thought he was a towering genius, and to everyone's annoyance was time and again proven right in his self-estimate. It is a matter of historical legend that he called in Boss Pratt and the top Republican leaders and announced that he was prepared to accept the presidency of the United States. Informed that the American people would not elect him, Elihu Root testily answered, nonsense. Just inform them that I'm ready to accept them as clients, and they will leap at the chance. On January 2nd, 1900, there arrived from New Orleans an apostolic delegate, Monsignor Placido Chapelle. Upon arrival, he harshly declared that he would treat those opposed to the Spanish friars as enemies of religion. So far, so good. He was within established canon law. But when he declared that as an American, he would use force against the Filipino clergy to return the ousted Spanish friars to their domain, he was far off base, and the American government called him out. While not naming specifically participants of the schism, the instructions to the Taft Commission settled the matter in short order. It declared that the separation between state and the church to be real, entire, and absolute. Further, the Americans did their best to settle their religious property. Question. William Howard Taft hauled his huge bulk to Rome in 1903 and purchased from the Vatican ownership of 400,000 hectares of extremely productive farmlands for $7,543,000. Later transferred them to 60,000 peasant tenants. Further, from 1903 on, the American instituted surveying and a registry of land titles. But eventually, by the terms of the Paris Treaty, all the church properties seized from the Spaniards were returned to them. More about this after these messages. This is Larry Henares making your day with part 29 of a book I wrote on Philippine history. Chapter From Runnymede to Gettysburg to the Philippines. I continue to quote. In any event, on April 7, 1900, the Filipino people became the clients of Elihu Root, the self-proclaimed genius. Never in the history of constitutional law, British, American, or Filipino, had so much wisdom, honor, and profound jurisprudence been incorporated within the four corners of one document. Secretary Root prepared the directive for the Taft Commission, which President McKinley signed. And it said, the Commission should bear in mind that the government they are establishing is designed not for our satisfaction, but for the happiness, peace, and prosperity of the people of the Philippine Islands, to conform to their customs, their habits, and even their prejudices, consistent with just and efficient government. Thereupon, Root tossed in the whole Bill of Rights for good measure as a right of all Filipinos, including the magnificent First Amendment, freedom of speech, assembly, and worship, the great Fourth Amendment against unreasonable search and seizures, the Fifth, the Sixth, even the 13th on voluntary servitude. The directive drafted by Elihu Root for the Taft Commission, signed by President McKinley, defined the covenant between Filipinos and the United States to establish a government for the happiness, peace, and prosperity of the Filipino people, with a Bill of Rights thrown in for good measure. It took the Anglo-Saxons 647 years from Magna Carta in Runnymede in 1215 to habeas corpus in 1667, to the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, everything for which the bravest of men suffered the axe and the hangman's knot, was packaged by Elihu Root and handed to the defeated Filipino people, gratis et amore, in 1901. Is this imperialism? But it is not true that the United States brought the concept of the dignity of the individual to the Philippines. Rizal and his valiant band fought for human freedoms before Americans even dreamed of coming to the Philippines. More about this tomorrow, my dear friends. This is Larry Henares, making your day, saying good day, God bless you. Thank you very much for being with us. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.